Exactly. Okay, so then let's do, hang on.
Here we go. So I'm using the iPad this morning, so it's a little different here in the room. So Jeff is online with us. And then somebody else just joined. Diane just joined. Good. Now I just have to figure out how to see more people. So hold on a minute. So anyway, there we go. So the printer guy is coming up. So for those of you that work up here at all, the printer guy is supposed to be here at 10 because we've been having all kinds of problems with that. So it's a great opportunity to do that. So I want to hear who worked open houses this weekend. I know I did. Diane did. I saw that on Bob's Facebook post this morning. Diane, are you hearing me? Okay, normally when I say your name, you look up right away, and this time you like went. I want to hear about the open houses. How did they go? What happened?
Sarah and I worked on Wash Park.
You guys got to really project because we don't have the regular mics that we have.
So Sarah and I held one in Wash Park. It was kind of slower. We had one person walk in, I think within the first hour, and then 2 groups came in at the very, very end at like 2. So that makes me think I almost want to do, what did we do? 12 to 2? I almost think 1 to 3 on Saturdays is more ideal because the last open houses that I've held, I've been there until 3.
Interesting. Okay. So when you are sending me the, yes, I want to have an open house week note, please remind me you prefer 1 to 3s because I run 12 to 2s because a lot of people like to save part of the afternoon to go show homes.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Diane, what did you guys see? I know you worked 2 open houses this weekend.
Well, our open house on Saturday was a bust. No one showed up.
Interesting.
Sunday we had more luck. But it was basically everyone that had seen the property on Saturday came back with either their agent or someone else in the group to see the home. So we did get, I think we got one that might not have been, but he was just there to talk to a real estate agent. So.
Well, if he was there to talk to a real estate agent, I can't think of a better one than you and Miss Diana.
Yes. And everything was going great until the very end. He goes, well, I just didn't know if I needed to believe my real estate agent. And I'm like, oh, you have an agent? He goes, yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's great.
Yeah, but okay, so he doesn't believe his agent. My very next question would be, have you signed anything with him? And if the answer was no, I would have gone in for the kill. I mean, the close.
So, yes, he does have a contract with the agent. But I still have his information. And by the way, Diana and I created or kind of stole your idea and duplicated it. The feedback form.
Oh, you mean the R&D department took care of that, meaning the rip off and duplicate?
You rip off and yes, our R&D department did a wonderful job and love it. Everybody that we gave it to filled it out. We had so many comments, so many discussions, so much better than the sign-in sheet. So,
yep. Again, it works, right? It's one of those things that, you know, and it's just a different way. And yet the whole goal is to get people's good contact information. Yep. So we worked in open house. The property was a 1.2 million out in Candelas. And it was the second weekend it had been on the market. And we'd been having pretty good success the second weekend on the markets in Candelas. We only had 3 groups come through, 3 different couples. 2 of them, one was looking for somebody else, a family member from California. The other one was a couple of guys that we've all seen at multiple open houses over the last year and a half. So we don't really know how serious they are. And then the last one, they seemed really excited, but refused to tell us anything. And wouldn't even fill out the feedback form. Like when Stacy asked them, they ran out the door. It was so funny. So I think the weather, I think it was cold and windy. I think the weather had something to do with it. At one point when we were setting signs, and thank goodness we were using the ones that were the poke in the ground, because we were able to bury them because the ground was so soft. So we were able to really get them down low. But I got to tell you, at one point in time, Stacy had one in each hand, and I thought she was going to turn into the flying nun. Okay, I just figured out who has seen that show and who hasn't. Jeff, you don't know who the flying nun is?
I know. Who was?
Okay. But
Right,
yeah,
right,
I seriously thought she was going to become Sally Field. And I didn't have my camera out because it would have been a perfect video for Debbie's I need photos of what's happening in K-Wave. So anyway, super fun, super fun. All right. So I got a bunch of stuff I want to make sure you guys have on your radar. Obviously, Coffee Talk is every Monday, 8:30 to 9:30. Bob gives out a great amount of valuable information during that, especially about the market. Make sure you're leaning into that. I always have a conflict in the Monday morning, so that's why I'm often not there. Team rallies are always the second and fourth Wednesday of every month, 11 to 12. And oftentimes we have vendors who feed us. Those are live in Old Town. Come get some free food. Okay. Then, wow, do we have a bunch of stuff. Jeff, please don't be offended. On March 30th, the women of K-Wave through the Lead Her Ship are doing an axe throwing event. If you have not signed up for that, I would encourage you to go get with Debbie, get registered. It is really a lot of fun. I'm kind of bummed I can't be there, but instead of throwing axes, I will be throwing bowling balls. April 1st, starting April 1st, 30 coffees over 30 days. Now, does everybody here know about that? Okay. So 30 coffees over 30 days. You guys, if you sign, and Stacy's going to get the info out, we're actually having you commit to the program. If you sign up and commit to the program, I will give you a $5 Starbucks card. I will buy your first cup of coffee. And if you buy a tiny, just plain coffee, I might almost buy 2 for you. But anyway, I will cover your first cup of coffee if you sign up for this and say, I accept the challenge. Okay. Then we need you to report every day how many coffee appointments you had that day. So this week this is a good time. Like I'm going to start texting my people today. Hey, looking at my calendar. I got some time for coffee. Do you want to get together next week? Right. So start blocking, right? Because when does April 1st hit? Saturday. Okay. So you can start having coffees starting Saturday and count towards the challenge. When anyone who successfully completes the challenge by having a minimum of 30 coffees. Now I get it. Easter's in there. You're probably not going to be anybody for coffee for Easter. So you might have to double up a couple times, right? Or if you want to do all 30 coffees in one day, I mean, that's what I said, Diane. I don't want to be around you if you do that. But, I'll be ready to call 911 when your heart starts racing. But anyway, anyone who successfully completes the challenge will be put in a drawing, and we're going to have Kevin draw out the winner. And the winner gets a $100 gift card to Starbucks. Okay. Or whatever coffee shop you want. I'll let the winner pick their coffee shop, right? If you're not a Starbucks person. All right. How many of you guys are going to sign up for that? How many of you are going to take the challenge? 2 in the room. How about on Zoom? Jeff, Diane? Okay, she's on mute and she pointed to something else. So,
Jeff said he would do it.
but you're not?
No.
Do you not like coffee? You can have tea, you can have happy hour.
I just know that if I look at my calendar for April, there is no way I am going to squeeze in 30 coffees. And it is not possible given the amount of things I have to get done.
Boy, I can't wait to look at your calendar and your one-on-one later this week.
Busted.
I'm teasing you. Please show up for your one-on-one. The reason it's coffee is because it's a 15-minute thing, right? You can do coffee in 15, 20 minutes, right? So anyway, April, throughout the month of April. So if I were to look at the GPSs of people in the coaching program, there is one reoccurring theme that I would say over 90% of the people have in their GPS, and that is 2 words. Anybody want to guess what it is?
Open house?
Social media.
Oh,
Social media, social media, social media, social media. You know what? It sounds like is the new, like, I don't know what. Okay. It's a
Yeah.
new buzzword, but my question is, how many of you are really doing it? How many of you really know how to do it? But you put it in your GPS that you were going to do it, but you're not. And I know that because I'm friends with all of you. So during the month of April, Charles and Bria are having a little battle. And they have a little competition between the 2 of them. Now, I love them both dearly, but who do you think I want to win? My fellow coach. But here's what I'm going to tell you. I want you guys to sign up. The April calendar is coming out. I think they're every Tuesday and Thursday. I don't know. But they are doing a quick 30-minute social media workshop. Now, what's the difference between a workshop and a class?
workshop is actual activity to me. It's actually.
Exactly.
something.
Not only are we going to tell you how, we are going to have you do. So they both have gone through, they've got a ton of different subject matters that they're going to do, and they are going to teach you how to do this on social media. They are going to write the script for you, right? So they are not only going to show you how, they are going to give it to you on a silver platter. I highly encourage you guys to go to those. But if you have to choose between 2, pick Bria's. Okay. So that's big in the month of April, right? So we want to help you guys do this. I started doing reels, you guys. Okay, this is kind of scary. I figured it out. Okay. And I did 2 reels the last 2 weekends at 2 open houses. This weekend, I had over 200 people watch my reel.
Woohoo!
That's a lot, Diane, right? That's a
That is a
lot. And
lot.
so my point is this stuff works,
Yes.
right? And so go learn how to do it because you all said in your GPS you were going to. Okay. All right. April 19th. I don't know. April seems to be the month that Margaret's like really doing whatever she can to help you guys get your businesses up and running, right? We're going to do coffee. And then we have, I don't know if I can line this up. Okay, then we have this book. Anybody seen this book? I
Yep.
just ordered a case of them. And I'll order a second case if I need to. By the way, Taylor Vonderak told me that she was going to fill the room and nobody else was going to be able to get in.
Hopefully they are on the contract before this.
I can get a lot of people in that training room with no tables in it. On April 19th at 5:30 p.m., the coaching team is hosting a home buying information night, seminar, workshop, whatever you want to call it. Now, the people who are being invited to this are your customers. So if you've met somebody at an open house, maybe you would want to call them up and invite them to come to this. We sent out a bunch of social media posts. I've seen some of you posting it on Facebook, but get your people to this home buying seminar. Now, your question is, well, why would I do that, Margaret? You don't have to teach. Guess who's teaching the seminar for you? I am. My goal is twofold. I'm going to teach you how to do it, right? And by the way, I just want you all to know, Christina Kionis has her name tag on and it's on upside down. Anyway, I'm going to teach the seminar. Mitch is going to come teach the seminar. So it's going to set up from 5:30 to 6. We're just going to have some charcuterie boards, some lemonade, iced tea, water sitting out, a little bit of social time to get your people there so that you can do whatever networking you need to do and we can get people sat down. Okay. Then we're going to do 20 minutes. Margaret's going to talk about the home buying process. Mitch for 20 minutes is going to talk about the mortgage process. And then the last 20 minutes, we have it open for Q&A. Every single prospective buyer that you bring to this event will get a free copy of this book, Compliments of Me. You do not have to pay for this book for your guests. Margaret's buying the book for your guests. Diane's looking at me like, what's the catch? You got to bring people, okay? The other thing that's happening is Mitch is going to be there to help start the pre-approval process for any of your people that that you bring. Yeah, some of you are like going, well, I have a lender, like I can't have like I know Taylor has one that is a buyer prospect that she got as a referral from her lender. Okay, we probably don't want him to pre-approve through Mitch, right? However, if you've got clients who've been sitting on the fence, this is a great place for them to sit down and have a conversation with Mitch. And I think he's bringing a member of his team. Okay. The other thing is every guest that comes, we're going to have them sign in a little piece of paper. You guys already have their contact info. I'm not doing this for me. But Mitch has donated a set of Apple AirPods that we are going to give away to one of the buyers that comes.
Oh,
So you only have to do one thing. Fill the room. Okay. Doesn't cost you anything. Okay. But guess what? It's going to look like you are the rock star to your client agent, to your clients, because this room is full. And they are probably not going to realize that half the room is your fellow agents. I'm going to word it in such a way, I'm actually going to be introduced as an expert, not as your coach.
Oh, I already told them. I was like, and you guys get to be my personal coach.
Okay, so you can do that as well, but we're not going to introduce that way
Okay.
because some agents don't want their clients to know they have a coach.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am very cognizant of, for those of you that don't want people to know that you have a coach because you're brand new or you haven't done a lot of business, that's all right. We're not going to tell them. Okay, but I'm going to come in as an expert who works with buyers. I hate working with buyers, but I can fake it till I make it. Okay, all right. So how many of you guys are going to bring people? I just gave you an excuse to call every single person you've ever met at an open house. I am not calling it a first-time home buyers workshop for a reason. Because it says a stigma, oh, well, I bought a house 20 years ago, I don't qualify. This is just a home buying information that's going to talk about the current market. And you guys, one of the things we're going to talk about is there a housing bubble? You know, those Gary Keller slides that take the 4% year over year and then cap it out and we're just like right about there. I'm going to show that slide and I'm going to talk to it because I want to help dispel the myth that so many of our buyers are out there. So if you are coming across continual buyer objections, just shoot them to me in an email and say, hey, here's some of the things my buyers are saying. If you want to address it in the buyer seminar, we would love you. Okay. So get out there, invite people from open houses, invite everyone in your sphere. I just gave you an excuse to call people in your database because here's why. You don't know who's got a college son or a cousin or somebody that you don't know who's thinking about buying a home. It might not be the person you call, right? So every dance mom that Andy ever danced with their daughter or son is getting a phone call or a text from me in the next week, inviting them, because guess what? Those kids are between the ages of 25 and 30. Who's buying houses? Right? Okay. So think outside your box. Okay. Whew, there's so much going on in April. I feel like I'm just an advertisement. April 5th. Does anybody know what's happening on April 5th? It's 2 days after my birthday, and it's the color of real estate with Julia Lachey. And in the afternoon, there is a mastermind being hosted for agents. Okay, so this is being led by, so a couple of things. So Julia Lachey is over the top. She is working to get this part of that day with CE credits. Even if you don't get any CE credits, she is worth the dime. Okay. Then you get lunch, and then in the afternoon, they're having a mastermind. And there's 3 different masterminds. There's one for the top 100 agents in Colorado. Our office does have 6 different people made it. And so they get to meet with a MAPS coach here from Denver who's got a really big business. The rest of us, right, get to meet with a top producing agent here in the Colorado region and talk about, I don't even know what they're going to talk about. Then they also have an admin one, but none of you need to go to that. Okay,
So the mastermind is the 12:30 to 2:30, right?
I believe so. I just know that I'm going out there all day.
Okay, because it says all leadership and the color of real estate. I don't know which one I need to buy because there's two separate ones.
Let me help you after, okay? You do not want to go to the leadership one. That's for me, Charles, Bria, Elizabeth, Chris, and Kevin. You guys want to go to the agent mastermind, but there should be a selection. When I went out there and bought Stacy's ticket, I had that as an option.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, that's what you want. Okay, April 8th, it's a Saturday. The good news is it's the Saturday of Easter weekend. Okay, probably not the best weekend to do open houses. As a matter of fact, I told my seller yesterday when we met, I said, I don't want to go on the market Easter weekend. I want to go the weekend after. So on April 8th, dual career 9 to 11, we have coming in land title, and they are teaching how to read a title commitment and how to prepare and use a seller net sheet in your business. Okay. I know for a fact that none of you know how to read title commitments because I get the phone calls. I would encourage you to come because here's the best part. If you keep your camera on, you get 2 free CE credits. Free CE credits. And all of you that are here need to start accumulating CE credits because in the next 2 to 3 years, you're going to need 12 of them, plus your annual commission updates. Okay, on April 13th, one of my favorite instructors, Mr. Gene Rivers, is coming to town. Gene is going to be teaching agent financials. That title just sounds really boring to me. However, at the end of the day, aren't you in the business to make a profit? Don't you want to understand how to run the financials of your business? Don't you want to understand when you should invest in things and when you shouldn't invest in things? Plus, if I know Gene, he's going to tell stories. And Gene has some amazing stories. One of my favorite stories of Gene, he's got 2, but one of them is he will teach you, or if he talks about how he and his wife rebuilt their business after they lost everything. Now, I'm not going to tell you how he did it. I'm going to let you tell him. And then after his class, for those of you that aren't able to make it, I'll tell you how he did it. April 18th, writing contracts. Some of you have written some offers. And my favorite thing to get in the coaching helpline is, how do I say in the contract, how do I write an escalation clause? How do I disclose that I'm an agent and I own the property? How do I disclose? How do I? Or I need to write an email and I don't know what to say. On April 18th at 10 a.m., Margaret is teaching a clause catalog. I am going to teach you every single clause that Mr. Damian Cox has written for us and that are available to you via CTM. Jeff, have you ever taken that clause class from me? I don't think so.
No.
It's a class that people don't show up to. And then the ones that do go, oh my God, this was so valuable. And I don't say that because I'm teaching it. Anyone who's teaching that is good. Because Damian has written clauses to put in the contract. Damian has written emails that we can use to communicate different things, right? And so lots of great things for you guys to be able to have. So I highly encourage you to come to Margaret's clause class on April 18th. That's a good 2 hours, okay? Any contracts class worth going to is going to be at least 90 minutes, okay? My last one. A year ago, I drove up to, I didn't drive. I spent a lot of money and flew. This year I'm driving. I went up to Traverse City, Michigan, and I went to a 4-day workshop with probably one of my favorite coaches in the industry. He is Keller Williams agent, but he has his own coaching organization and it's called Glover U. And Jeff Glover is probably one of my most favorite people in the world. Mainly because one, he is out there walking the walk with us. He's out there hosting open houses and he's calling expireds and he's doing all of the work we do as his team. And he's out coaching and training. And so he's very able to talk about the things that are happening in our current market. Jeff is coming on April 27th. He's coming in the morning. I want to say it's under $50 to go out and spend a couple of hours. I believe Jeff is physically coming to Denver this time, but if he happens to send Matt, There's nothing wrong with Matt either. So great session. I'm going, for those of you, none of you have your one-on-ones with me on Thursday morning. So I'm moving everybody's Thursday one-on-one so I can go. That's the 27th, the 27th. And it was all in the regional email. So that was a lot, but April's got a lot of really good stuff that I believe in. So I'm hoping to see you at least some of it. Okay. Questions? No?
How long is the one on the 27th?
It's done by noon. It starts like at 9 and ends at noon. Okay. And there will be, I guarantee, there will be a sales pitch to get you to come to his Live Unreal in June up in Traverse City, but it's not much of one. So, usually when those guys come to town, there's usually some kind of sales pitch associated with it. It's just what it is. But the content is so worth putting up the 10 minutes of come join us at this event. By the way, I'm already signed to go to that event. So guess what I'm going to be bringing back to all of you? All the information, right? So with that, spring is sprung. Spring is sprung. Are you ready? Are you doing it? How many of you have stuff in your pipeline that you're trying to get closed? Or how many of you need to do get your pipeline moving? Because I kind of want to judge what you guys need today. What do you need? What are you, if I was to ask you, what would be the best possible coaching session for the next 28 minutes? What would it look like? What do you want to hear from me? We beat open houses to death, so I don't want to do that. What are you struggling with? Are you struggling with meeting people? Are you struggling with your calendars? Are you struggling with closing? Okay, we're gonna take a poll. Oh, what was that, Diane? You were shaking your head.
I would just say all of the above. My calendar continues to be a train wreck. I'm getting better. I need to meet more people than I'm already meeting, but I'm kind of like tapping out that level of meeting new people. So I don't know if I don't know how to meet more people in order to meet the person that I need to meet. How does that sound? There we go.
I would say going off that too, I don't even have like a packed calendar, but meeting, I think I did like 8 to 10 last week. And I think staying consistent is the hardest aspect without getting drained as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you mean by 8 to 10? You met 8 to 10 new people?
I think I had, yes.
Okay. So I think it's a combination. Okay, so let's talk about people. How about it? Let's do it this way. How to put ourselves in front of opportunity. I think that sounds like a good general conversation, right? Because what we need to do, what we all need to do as business owners is we need to put ourselves in front of the opportunity of meeting people, and ideally people who are wanting to buy, sell, or invest in real estate or know someone who is. Okay. So one of the, I believe, and I'm not going to beat it up, but I truly believe, and all of you, Christina doesn't do a lot, but that's because of your schedule. The open houses. I believe that an open house is the best way to put yourself in front of people who are actively doing something looking for real estate. Now, the key is you have to be skilled at what you do at the open house, right? And by the way, one of the skills labs that we have coming up, I think in May, is we're going to bring in a team within our market center, because you don't need to keep hearing from me. But we're going to bring in a team who does open houses at a very high level, and that's how they build their business, to talk to you and share with you the conversations they're having and what their follow-up plans are. The one thing I will tell you about open houses is, do you remember a couple of weeks ago when I brought in that open house plan from that team and I stole it, and it included a text like before they barely walked out the door and you were texting them, you were emailing them, you were calling them. I will tell you, we started implementing that, and oh my goodness, what a change. What a change, right? So we have been saying it for a long time. We are moving from a fast-paced market to a skills-based market, right? So practicing and getting your open house thing down to a rocket science is going to be very helpful. So if open houses are a way to put you in front of people, because here's what I'm gonna tell you. I'm just a neighbor, I came snooping. Unless you're in a flip, they're lying. As a matter of fact, do you guys know Amir? Probably not, because he's a dual career agent. Amir
Right.
picked up a buyer yesterday at an open house in Brighton. I'm not a buyer, a seller, a neighbor.
He's
By
a
the way,
really nice guy.
Casey was working the same property the day before. She found 2 neighbors who were thinking about selling. But it's how you have the conversations with the people that come in. So make sure you're skilled on that. If you want me to dive into that in the future, I can do that again. But I think open houses are a great way to do it. And here's the thing. If your schedule says I can't do open houses on Saturday and Sunday, who said that's the only time you can do them? If you have a vacant property, oh, like Keaton's listing in Brighton, oh, like so many of the open houses that are out there, just have to reach out to the listing agent. Taylor's been doing this a ton lately. She's been reaching out to the listing agents in our market center, picking up the phone and saying, hey, I saw your listing. I was wondering, would you and your sellers like me to host an open house? I'd love to do one. I want to try one, kind of do it a weird time. I was thinking about doing one on a Thursday evening from 4 to 7. If the house is vacant, you have a much higher chance of getting a yes, right? Nobody just wants to displace a family during dinner time during school, right? But the worst thing that that listing agent's going to say is, yeah, that's not going to work for my client, right? And there are certain teams in our market center that will give open houses, and then there's a couple that will not. And that's okay. Doesn't hurt to ask. All right. So that's a great way to put yourself in front of opportunity of people that I believe are more than looky-loos. Okay. It's digging into the conversations to pull back the layers of the onion. Okay. Social media, right? Using literally this. I'm waiting to see who does the first paid ad on my buyer workshop. Right? Uh-oh, I just got to look from across the room. I think somebody may have already done it. Right? But are we telling everybody we know about this? Right? Again, setting ourselves in front of opportunity. I would hope that I would see that buyer workshop on every single social media 2 and 3 times a week. In your stories, in your reels, in your Insta, maybe not all in the same place repetitively. Okay, get the word out. Diane, you met 9 people one week between pickleball and your quilting guild and everything else. 9 people in 1 week. And these are people that you're going to see over and over again. Continue to build that relationship. But I guess my question is, did you meet everybody in the pickleball league?
This is the people that we came out of pickleball class with. And we
Okay.
actually, we kind of formed our own little group. So I think there's
Okay.
only 2 people that are coming that I haven't met yet.
Okay.
So, only 2.
But invite them all.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, next time I'm at pickleball. Hey, my team is hosting a workshop on how to buy a home in 2023. If you know anybody that this would be a great thing for that I should be talking to or inviting to that, let me know and have a flyer. So last week at the bowling alley, so we have some pens that are branded to us, and in bowling, pens are important because you have to write down your scores. Okay. So about every 6 weeks, I grab a big old thing of pens and I take them to the bowling alley and I just start throwing them around. Well, this week I'll be throwing around Rocky schedules because those should appear in my mailbox this week. Okay. What if you printed out some of those marketing materials that Stacy created for you? You don't even have to create them. She put them in Canva. You can brand them to you. What if you printed them out and took them to pickleball, bowling, everywhere you went, and said, hey, do you know anybody that would be interested in this? Okay. Double wait, because I'm giving you the perfect excuse to get to know somebody better. Or you invite them to coffee. Okay. I think some of you are starting to gain traction on the meeting where people just keep doing it. Do you know all the opponents in pickleball? Do you know all the opponents on the bowling lanes? Do you know all the people in the motorcycle club? Okay. Are you reaching back out to people in your past life? Your career, right? Who did you used to work with, right? Whether it was at the commercial real estate place, whether it was in telecom, are you reaching out to your old professors? Are you reaching out to your clients in your hair business, right? Like you guys really have an oyster. You just have to think outside the boxes. Okay. Is this helping? Okay. Good, good, good. I would have a flyer about that home buying seminar all over your salon, at least in your mirror when you're working.
Yeah, you just made me think that.
Okay. It's a great piece to go door knocking for those of you that aren't afraid to door knock, right? What if you started circle prospecting? I mean, come on. Does anybody have an apartment complex nearby? Or live in one?
I've got booted out
What
of
if you,
those.
huh?
I keep getting booted out of those, but that's fun. It's still fun though. Apartment
Yeah,
complex.
right? Like, where are the renters in your community? Where are the renters, right? If you live in an apartment complex or know somebody that lives in an apartment complex, right? Here's the deal. Just go drive in and hang the flyer on the side of the mailbox. The worst thing that's going to happen is they're going to take it down. Now, if you drive in and there's a great big sign that's huge that says no soliciting, you'd have to be blind to miss it. Probably wouldn't do it there. Right? But where are the renters in your world? Right? Condo complexes, you guys, are full of renters. Right? So start thinking, and if you're not afraid to go door knocking, go door knock your neighborhood. My team is hosting a buyer seminar, how to buy a home in 2023, right? Because even if they have purchased a home, how many of you have purchased a home more than 3 years ago?
Well, 3.
Yeah. Do you think it's different now than it was then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So even if somebody bought a house in the I would say anyone who's bought a house in the last 3 years is probably a little bit versed, but even a year ago, when I bought my house, the market's different today than it was. Although I heard this weekend, a house had 60 offers.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm hearing it. That,
Did
we're
somebody
starting to
misprice
see
that
the
one?
little. Huh?
did somebody misprice that or something?
I don't know. I don't know the details. I don't care. All I'm telling you is multiple offers are out there. By the way, if anybody is looking for a patio home in Wyndham Park, I have a beautiful one that's hitting the market. It does not look like grandma lives in it like all the rest of them out there do. And we're probably looking at around 750. So if anybody has a buyer, keep your ears open because I got one coming in Wyndham Park the weekend after Easter, I think is when we'll hit the market. Go into your LinkedIn, your social medias, all of those types of things. But the fact that you guys are getting yourselves out there and getting re-involved in clubs and organizations where you have a heart, right? You either do it because you truly enjoy it or because it's something that you have a passion around. If you guys continue doing that, people will see your authenticity, and your authenticity results in people trusting you. Now you just have to not be a secret agent about it. Right? When you go out and about, how many of you have a name badge?
What was that?
How many of you have a name badge? Are you wearing it?
Yeah,
When? It's not on you now. I can see that.
I'm not in the public.
I put it
Okay,
out
that's fair.
when I leave. And then
Good.
a couple of I got some branded wear that I always wear when I'm out. So
Yep. Those types of things, right? Here's what I'm gonna tell you. Keep doing it. Okay, so you wanted to talk about your calendars. That was the other thing, right? So did that help? Did that kind of open up some ideas and some oysters and some opportunity? Okay. Here's my next one. Your calendars. I don't know that there is a person in the world that I know of that doesn't wish they had more time in the day. Right? And I don't think there's a person out there who doesn't watch other people's social media or watch other people and go, oh my God, how did they get all that done? As a matter of fact, I found myself thinking that this weekend. So my friends, John and Sonia, every weekend they're jet setting somewhere. Okay. And they're always on the go and they both work full-time jobs. He owns a oil and gas, he's an owner of an oil and gas company. So I know he doesn't work just 8 to 5. And I found myself thinking today going, how does Sonia do it? Like, how does she get the house cleaned, the laundry done, get to the grocery store? Like, they probably don't go to the grocery store because they're never home, but like, how do they do it? I found myself thinking about that. And I think I do a pretty good job of managing my time. And what I learned was about myself as I was thinking about that this morning was I'm really good at managing my business time. I'm horrible at managing my personal time, right? Because when I get home, all I want to do is shut completely down, which means brainless TV and brainless phone games. You know, when I'm doing brainless phone games, I could absolutely be running the laundry because that's a machine that does the work. I just need to put the stuff in and push a button. Right? And I haven't done laundry in 2 weekends, right? Exactly, right? So okay, so this is an area of growth for me. And don't you love it when your coach is that transparent that you found out she hasn't done laundry in 2 weekends? Okay. Some of you are going, man, she must have a lot of clothes, right? But okay, good, right? Success. High five. Christina just said, I don't feel so bad now, right? Join the club, right? And the fact that everybody on this phone is laughing, you all just related to what I said. Right? So you're not alone. So that's the first thing to always acknowledge. You are not alone. Now, how do we fix it? Okay. When you look at your calendar, I want you, each of you has a homework assignment. Ready? And by the way, I want a screenshot of it in my text messages by Wednesday at noon. I want you to take a calendar of some form for the next 90 days. And I want you to block off your days off. So if you're going away camping on Memorial Day weekend, then block it out. If you're going to Sturgis, when is that? August? If you're going to Sturgis, block it off. If you have a high school graduation, a college graduation, a birthday, a date night with somebody that you care about. And by the way, date nights can be with children, they can be with best friends, they can be with significant others, they can be with whoever they are. When are those? Those are the number one things that need to go on your calendar. The number 2 thing that goes into your calendar is your non-negotiables. And that's, I'm talking about your non-negotiable business stuff. Right? So I just gave you guys a whole list of things for the month of April that are educational based. And how did I start it? Put these on your calendar. All right? If you're going to them, put them on your calendar. I am really proud of the 4 of you because coaching was on your calendar this morning and you're here. Are your one-on-ones scheduled? Those types of things should be non-negotiable because you guys, here's what I'm learning. The people that show up consistently on their one-on-ones and let me help you build your businesses are the ones that are having success. So if you haven't been seeing me on a regular basis on a one-on-one, let's get that scheduled. Now, I've reached out to a lot of you and scheduled out 90 days, but not all of you I was able to do that with. So if I haven't got you on a 90-day schedule, get that done. So put those non-negotiables in there. Then my question is, and I'm going to pick on pickleball because I'm fascinated by the sport and I actually do want to go learn it because I can meet more new people, right?
It must be fun.
And it might be fun, right? I used to play tennis back when I was young and, you know, a lot more fit than I am today, right? When is pickleball? I will tell you this, good luck getting on my calendar on a Thursday or Friday night because where am I? I'm at the bowling alley. That's important to me. I'll bet you Diane's got quilting groups on her calendars. And those are important to her. Right? And they're opportunities to put yourself in front of opportunity. Now, the other thing you've got to have on your calendar is when am I going to prospect? Right? If you're an open houser, an open house person, then which Saturdays or Sundays or days during the week are you going to do open houses this month? I probably wouldn't do them Easter Sunday. By the way, don't show houses on Easter Sunday either. I just draw a hard line on that. I'm not going to kick a family out of their house on a holiday. Okay. Block the time. Now, if it's on your GPS, and I believe that every single one of you on this call, Christina, we don't have a GPS for you?
No.
Okay, I'll see you on my calendar this week. Your GPS has activities. Your GPS says, I'm going to do social media, right? Every single one of you has that. I know you do. When are you creating your social media content? When are you doing it?
Monday.
Take it from your GPS and stick it in your calendar. When are you creating the marketing materials for your open houses? Friday morning, Thursday night? When are you going door knocking for your open houses? Friday afternoon, Saturday morning? When are you doing it? Start blocking out windows for those things. Okay? That helps significantly. So like for me, I have one-on-ones that are a certain time. I have that blocked on my calendar so that I don't overblock it. Now, when I have one of these, 20 things in April that are really great educational things, then I'm not going to all of them because I have a business to run. I got multiple businesses to run. So I can't go to them all, but I'm going to the ones that matter to me. And what matters to me will be different than what matters to you. Okay. Did that help, Diane?
Mhm.
A little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just
made it.
need to be much better about it. That's all.
So here's the thing. Time blocking, time management, calendar management, whatever you want to call it. You will never have it perfect. Never. Crap happens. I think one of the industries that I think does the best calendar management is most of them in the hair, the Cosmo business.
Oh,
And I would say the woman that does my hair, depending on the day of the week, she can be an hour and a half behind and it drives me crazy. But Christina, do you ever get it perfect? No, but you're constantly learning and getting better at how to do that, right? You get to know your clients, right? You are going to have some hiccups and that's okay. Give yourself grace. Start small. The people that get in trouble are the ones that block every minute of every day. So one of the two things that Stacy walked away from when we went up to Glover last year, and by the way, it was a 4-day conference and Stacy spent 3 of it in bed sicker than a dog. So she only was able to go 1 day. And the thing that she walked away from there was twofold. One, take a day that has nothing. And that's your doctor day, your dentist day, your eye doctor day, your hair day, your nail day, anytime you're going to schedule an appointment. So for me, it's Fridays. Now, I did that by design because with Tom living 800 miles away, I want to spend some 3-day weekends in the Midwest. I cannot have business stuff scheduled on Fridays when I want to go spend time with this person who I happen to really like spending time with. Okay. By the way, I'm not moving. I know some of you thought that was happening if you joined the Skills Lab where Brittany Heckenberg came to sell my house. Some of you in the room thought I was actually moving. I am not. You're stuck with me. Lucky you. Okay. But I intentionally have Fridays. So guess what? Margaret, you need an eye appointment. When do you think I'm going to schedule it for? What day? Friday. Oh, wait, the washer and dryer repairman needs to come out. What day am I going to schedule him for? Friday. Because when have I blocked my calendar to be open for appointments, personal appointments? Okay, so my dentists are on Fridays, my doctor appointments are on Fridays. Everything that I can possibly put on there is on a Friday. Now, what Taylor does, not our Taylor, but Jeff's Taylor, she has Wednesdays. And everybody in the office knows Wednesday morning, Taylor's not going to be in the office because that's when she takes care of personal appointments. So when is that day for you? Now, you're not going to decide today that that's what it's going to be and it's going to magically be there overnight. But if you know that that's your plan, it is amazing how quickly it will evolve into that. Okay. The other thing that we learned, that Stacy learned that she's taught me, is have time in your calendar called oops time. Oops time. I scheduled 30 minutes to work on this project and I ran late. So therefore my other one didn't happen, right? Or I was meeting with a 20-minute coffee appointment. And then because it ran late, I didn't get to go build my social media content for the day. Or I didn't get to go reply emails, or I didn't get to do that. So by having an oops time in your calendar every day, it allows you to catch up. Make sense? The other calendar skill, normally, this isn't in the room with me. You guys all know that, right? Very rarely is my phone with me. The only reason it came in here is because it was just me and Jeff, and I wanted to know where everybody was, so I sent text messages. I'm here, where are you? Okay. And then some of you showed up. It was great. It worked. However, I don't look at email during the day. I don't look at text messages during the day. When I'm coaching, I'm coaching. When I'm teaching, I'm teaching. When I'm doing one-on-ones, I'm doing one-on-ones. I don't have my phone near me unless there's an extenuating circumstance. And then even if it is with me, it is turned off and upside down. So when when it flashes up, I don't see it. It keeps me focused, right? And then I deal with email usually in the middle of the afternoon. Okay. Just some tips and tricks that I have learned. And I'm going to tell you, I still don't have it down. But if you follow your schedule, and then I'm going to use one more quote, manage your morning and the day will take care of itself. If you set up your business day, Diane looks confused by that comment. And she's on mute, so I can't even hear her.
I'm trying to I've got 2 or 3 things that just kind of hit all at once. And then you said that, I'm like, well, wait a second. And I'm trying to continue the thought. Just continue the thought.
Continue my manage the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Manage your morning. Okay. When do you start? Some of you are very good at getting up early in the morning. That's not me. So you're not going to see my calendar at 6 o'clock in the morning doing anything more than taking my dog out if she woke me up. Okay. My day starts at between 8:30 and 9. That's just who I am, but I will work later in the evening. Okay. When is your planning time? When is your prospecting time? When is your email time? Manage the most important elements of your business in the morning, because you got to eat the frog first. Right, because the filet mignon tastes a whole lot better. Right? Eat the frog. Do the stuff you don't want to do in the morning, AKA prospecting, follow-up calls, reaching out to people, right? Those of you that worked open houses this weekend, you got people to call today. When are you doing it? I'm hoping at 10 o'clock. Whoops, 11 o'clock. That clock is wrong. Anyway, I got to go. It's 11:01. I got to start my other crew. I'm so glad you all were here. Get on my calendar. If you're not, you need to get on my calendar this week. We need a GPS, right?
Well, I'm on your calendar, I think, next week.
Okay, so work on your calendars and away we go. All right, I'll see you all later. Next Monday's a big day. I want to see you all in person. Bye.
What's next Monday?